to have guitar. I hope you are doing great as always. This is a review and a test and a demo of Scuffham Amps SG2, which has been requested a number of times actually, and now finally I've come around to test it, demo it, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it after I've gone through the software and everything around it. So now let's play. So let's go through all the effects, the amplifiers, all the stuff that is or comes with the software. The SG2 comes as both a standalone application and a plugin for your DAW. It comes as VST, AU and AXX. The last one should be for Pro Tools. So it's available for both Windows and Mac, Apple, whatever you want to call it. And I'm running it as a VST plugin in Reaper, as you probably can see. But let's go through the stuff here. You have a tuner, you have some settings for the tuner, but it works for both guitar and bass, and it's great. Very sensitive, very exact, I would say. You can turn it off and on with that little fork right up there, or you can go down to this section far down here and turn it on and off. Here you can also have two different amplifiers within the same preset. Right now there are two Dukes, but that means you can have two different amplifiers with two different settings, but whatever effects is within the preset will come with both amplifiers, but you can switch between amplifier A and B like that. I guess you could hook that up through MIDI somehow and control it by a floorboard or something like that. You have the amp view, which will show you the signal. You can bypass the amp, you can bypass the effects, you can bypass the cab. You have a noise gate. I suppose that most guitarists will know what a noise gate is, but that really means that if you have problems with noise from the pickups or feedback, that it starts screaming and stuff like that, you can fine-tune the noise gate to cut out all that noise, really. Then you have input and output controls, of course, as well. As for the amplifiers, you have 5 different amplifiers. The Duke should resemble a Dumble ODS, and you have some settings here. I'm not going to go through every switch and stuff like that, because you can dive into the manual about that if you want to. Just search for Scuffham SG2 manual and you'll find one in PDF format. Anyway, if you want to tweak an amplifier even more, you press tweak, and then you'll get a little different stuff depending on what amplifier is currently in use. So here you have the overdrive voicing, which is you can set for normal, thick or bright, and then you have some power amp options which will really allow you to do a detailed tweaking to your liking, because that can make a great change between, you can make it sound more vintage or old stuff, you know, or you can make it sound more modern or whatever. You can tweak the sound at your heart's desire. Next out is the Steeler, which is based on a Marshall pretty much. I think I read somewhere that the guys behind, or the guy behind SG2 actually worked for Marshall as an amplifier designer, something like that, and they had a really old Marshall Plexi, which this is pretty much based on. As you can see, you have some settings here, different boosts, shifts, amp drive, the power amp sections. We're going to listen to the amplifiers soon, but let's go on and just show all the amplifiers first. The Jackal is something between a Marshall and a Soldano. It's not exactly expressed what, but that's what it's pretty much based on. I guess it depends on how you set it up. So it should be able to do anything from cleans to quite high gain stuff. So the next one out is the Wayfarer, which should be based on a Mesa Boogie or a Fender Hot Rod, something like that. As you can see, you have loads of options here, so I guess Fender or Mesa, depends on how you set it up. You also have a way more stuff down here if you press the tweak button. You have the graphic equalizer, built-in tremolo, and almost too much. Can it be too much? I don't know, but it's a lot of stuff to tweak your brains out. Last out is the Custom 57, which should be based on a Fender Tweed. It's the simplest of the amps and it'll give you a more vintage tone, I guess, but I guess you could spice it up with some gain as well if that's your business. And that's the amplifiers. Now let's have a look at the effects. So let's talk a little bit about the rack, which this section is called. If you right click, you can see that you have delay thing, mod thing, pro convolver. You can only add one of those and it's already added. And room thing. You can have 2 of the delay, 2 of the mod, 2 of the room thing. And delay is delay, of course. Mod, that's pretty much chorus and flanger. Room thing is reverb. Processing of the effects is done from top to bottom, which means that the position of an effect will affect how it sounds. They can be moved up or down by drag and drop. Like that. And to add a new device, as I've shown you, just right click in the rack section and, for example, add a mod thing. Pops up down here. If you want to change the position, do so by dragging it. To remove an effect, you just right click and choose remove device and it's gone. The delay thing is modeled on an analog delay. The controls start off with this button, which is short, medium or long. So short is 20 to 200 milliseconds, medium is 200 to 500 milliseconds, and large is 500 milliseconds up to 1 second. And then you have feedback. You can run it in mono, you can run it in full stereo. You have lots of options here. I'm not going to go into all of that. As I've said before, if you want that kind of detailed information, please Google the manual in that case anyway. So then you have, let's add the mod thing. So the mod thing is based on an analog rack effect unit. You can choose between chorus and flanger. You can phase shift and do lots of stuff here. You can also minimize the effects if you want to, so they just take up less space if you have a need for that. The room thing, which is really a reverb. This device has its own information display and it has 30 presets as well. Okay, so if you go into the edit screen, which I am in right now, if you click one of these parameters, you can change it either by turning the data wheel, or if you hover the mouse over the data wheel, you can do it with the mouse scroll button. You can't do it if you're here, because then the window will just keep scrolling. But over here, yes. Over here, yes. No. Yes. The room thing has loads of parameters and really endless combinations. You have every possibility to create a reverb that suits your needs with this unit. So if you left click in this window while you're watching the presets, here you have all the presets available. If nothing else, you can use them as a starting point for what you want to create with the room thing. Empty mess, you know. So it has loads and loads and loads of options. Now the Pro Convolver is a cab handler for your amplifier, a really good one. You can have 2 cabs, and let me tell you that the cab will make a big difference in the sound. So you are not bound to use only cabs from Scuffham. Because if you have bought some, like from Ownhammer or Live Ready Sound or wherever, they can be imported here as well, because it's a general technology, so you can just push them in here and use your favorite cabs. It has 2 channels, which means you can use 2 different cabs at the same time and EQ settings for them both. For some cabs it'll come with the possibility of choosing both the microphone and the position of the microphone, which is a great thing. You can slave channel 2 to channel 1, and that means channel 2 will duplicate the settings of channel 1, and they will be hard panned on the left and right. So all in all, with all those effects, the amplifiers, all the settings, the combinations are really endless. And now we're gonna have some listen to them. I'm gonna play every amplifier as they come. Maybe without any effects, for those of you who like that, because I know that's a common request. Don't add in effects, because I want to hear what it sounds like on its own. So I'll do that, and I will also throw in 3 presets from each amp, trying to go from clean to high gain if that's available. And now let's shut me up and play. Alright, so let's test these amplifiers as they come without any effects. This is the Custom 57. I'll be using the cab that comes with the amplifier when you load it by default, so to speak. We'll be testing a little bit with different cabs later on, or maybe in another video. Depends on how long this video is, I don't know. Anyway, this is the Custom 57. All settings are at 12 o'clock. But let's just try the frequency and sag options a little bit to see how they affect the sound. So frequency is 3 from the beginning. Let's up that to 7 just to see if we can provoke some kind of difference in the sound. Well, there is a difference, but it's very subtle, I would say. High cut, let's just try the extreme low and high values. So here is the Duke, and this is what it sounds. Let's see if the signal is low. Sure is. Up with the level. Let's add some gain. This is the overdrive. Well, that was the Duke. Now let's hear a few presets from that amplifier. Well, there you have the Jackal. Now, again, let's hear some presets from that one. Let's boost that. As you can hear, it's not a high gain monster, but it sounds good. Now, let's hear some presets from that one. Now we have the Wayfarer activated as it comes, and it sounds like this. Very loud. I think I'm gonna turn down the level. I'm afraid I'm gonna hit the red, so the sound will be way off. Let's turn on lead again. Well, I'm not aiming to create a perfect sound here, just trying to show you how much you can do with those controls. It'll take a lot longer for me to dial in something perfect. So now let's have a listen to a few presets from the Wayfarer. Show you how much the cabs really do when it comes to the sound. This is a preset that I've just loaded. Sounds like this from the beginning, loaded, as I just said. guys, now let's fiddle around with the IRs or the cabs to see the difference that they really make. So right now you have only one cab, and let's add another one. We can take the vintage British blues. Let's see the impact of the on the sound. Let's try another one. Let's go for a modern upper left in that position. We could change the original as well and do a tweed combo just to see how crazy that gets. Now, while that is cool and everything, let's try some third-party IRs from Live Ready Sound in this case, just to show you how it's done. So what you want to do is go up here to Impulses. You want to import. Let's try the Boogeyman from Live Ready Sound. We'll go for those, and you can actually import the whole range of IRs, I think. Like that. So now you see I've placed one of them in cab 1 and the other one in cab 2. The thing is that you can see 1 and 2 for the cab position here on each of the imported IRs. Let's see how that sounds. I have no idea, I just picked 2 of them to see. Well, there you go. The cab or the IR will make a big difference when it comes to the sound. So if you don't have any, well, now the software comes with a bunch of different cabs that you can experiment, but otherwise you can buy a pack, or maybe even there are some IRs floating around on the internet that is free as well. You could go on a wild goose chase for those if you wanna. Anyway, it opens up a world of different sounds, and that's it. That's the cab option within SG2. Well, there we go. This is the end of the video. I hope you liked it. If you do, please subscribe to support Have Guitar. Anyway, my rating for the SG2 is thumbs up all the way. Actually, I tried this the first time. I took a subscription of Slate Digital's full bundle subscription where you sign up for a year, and then SG2 was included in that bundle, and I was really impressed by it when I tested it. Anyway, I've gotten requests of testing out this software, and while I was impressed by it when I had that subscription, I'm not less impressed by it now. I can say it's all thumbs up. It's great. Sounds great. You'll have to do some tweaking to get it to sound good. In this video I have not included any other software, because of course if you run it in a DAW you could add your own distortion pedals, EQs, lots of stuff, compressors and stuff that is not included. Now the software bundle in itself with the rack and the amplifiers is really versatile, it's flexible, it gives you lots of tonal options. Some of the presets sound absolutely amazing, so you might not need any more plugins. Maybe you just want to run with the standalone app or whatever. For my sake, I always run it through Reaper anyway. But it's I have really nothing bad to say about it. It has everything you need to start shaping out your own tone, and if you're too lazy you can use those presets or as a starting point and do whatever you want with them, and then save them as your own presets. So it'll be full pot for Scuffham Amps SG2 from my side. I will do at least one more video where I try both real pedals, because I've heard that if you just hook up a pedal in front of your sound card it will be like hooking up a pedal in front of an amplifier from what I've read. We're gonna test that. We're gonna test some VST effects that I have, both free and commercial, as in drive pedals and stuff like that. But that'll be in a coming video. So, this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, as I've said. To all of you who do subscribe, thank you. You make it all worthwhile. That's what I have to say. I think this will be out just before Christmas. I hope so, at least. And in any case, there will be a giveaway of Kemper profiles also around Christmas somewhere. My gift to you with the help of a well-known profiler. Hope to see you in the next video. There is a new one out at least every Thursday. And with that said, stay clean and play really hard until I see you next time, okay? Goodbye.